What did you do to grow as a filmmaker, and would you do the same thing if you were starting over today?
I think that I've been somebody who has taken the mindset of what got you where you are won't take you where you're going or where you want to go. And so all along the way, in order to continue to survive and to thrive, it's you sink or you swim. It's like we're either growing or we're shrinking. And so there's this sort of idea of like, I want to constantly evolve. I want to do new things. I want to take new risks. I want to explore new ideas. I don't want to find myself stuck in the ways of the past. And so I tried to take that approach into my filmmaking. Every film that I make, I try to do something different and something new and something that is unique to that project and that speaks uniquely to that project. That's also been my approach in kind of the learning process. I didn't go to film school. I didn't have any formal education with filmmaking. A lot of my learning came from trial and error. It came from reading a lot of books. And I scoured the internet. There are all sorts of websites. There's great DPs, Roger Deakins, David Mullen, Sean Bobbitt, all sorts of cinematographers who've been willing to share about their experience online. And I was reading those interviews. I was trying those things out. I was shooting on all sorts of different cameras and trying to learn them. And so it was really this process of essentially setting up scenarios for myself where I could learn. In the very beginning, I was actually shooting shots for my reel because I was like, I don't have enough material to show a diversity of projects at this point. When I was working for this religious organization, at that time, it's like, I didn't want to market myself as somebody who had shot a lot of religious content because I knew I want to make movies that have world building. I want to make movies that are, in the public eye. And also I was walked away from faith at that point in my life. So I didn't want to be known for those things. But it's like, how do you pivot from having your body of work be one thing into a new thing? So the process was spending a lot of time learning, shooting projects on the side, shooting short films, shooting commercial work, doing those kinds of things, trying new things out every single time, using new filters, new lenses, all of that sort of thing was a way to try and kind of a new approach every single time. And the way that I learned was both that trial and error, but it was also asking people questions. When I got to Los Angeles, I reached out to a lot of people, and I've continued that approach even to this day, where I'm reaching out to cinematographers, asking them specific questions, not how did you get to where you are, but things like, I saw this project that you did and it really struck something with me. And I wanted to know, why did you shoot it in this specific way? Why did you shoot this scene this way? And the thing that I found is most artists are really excited to share about their experience and really excited to share about their story and their vision. And there's a reason that they did something the way that they did. So I've actually found that you get a lot of great response by reaching out in that very specific way, rather than just reaching out with like, hey, I want to be where you are. Or, hey, I want a job. It's being very specific. It's recognizing the work that's gone on in that person's career. Even reading, I think the more that you understand about story structure, the more that you understand about life in general, the more that that's going to become a part of your unique perspective. And so, all of us have the life experience that we've lived that becomes a part of the way in which we see the world. That's actually fundamental to who you are as an artist. It's your unique point of view. That's a result of all the art you've witnessed, all the experiences you've had, the pain, the trauma, but also the transcendence, the joy, the beauty, the love that you've experienced. Those are all going to be a part of how you speak to the world. And it's one of the things I love about that is we're living in a time now where people of all sorts of race, gender, sexuality are getting the opportunity to speak, and they get to uniquely speak to their community, to their culture, to their experience in a way that somebody else really couldn't. And I think one of the beauties of being a cinematographer is I get to bring my own experience of the world, but I get to bring that in service of a director and in telling the story that they're trying to tell. So I get to throw all my great ideas, all the things that I'm hopeful about, all the things I want to do at a director, and then they get to take what is working for them and sort of they get to refine what that is. And I actually love that about the process. One of the things I wish I had known early on was people who have a community and people who are making great work often already have a team of people that are around them that they're working with. One, that means expect that when you go into meetings and when you're reaching out to people and you're getting to meet people, you're looking to develop a relationship. You're not looking for the next job. You're not looking for, how do I just make a quick buck? You're looking for, how do I build a community with people who I respect? Because these are people who probably have 4 and 5 and 6 production designers, directors of photography, who they respect and work with already. But you know what's going to happen is, along the way, those people are going to get busy, and then they might have a small job that they are like, I have just the person for this, someone I've been talking to, I want to try out, and I want to see if we work well together. And then maybe you get your shot and you guys see if you work well together on set. But now you have a common language because you've developed a friendship, and you've developed trust. And rather than looking at artists as like, here's the next specific project I'm doing, it's looking at them as, how can I serve their career and the longevity of their career and their career path? That's kind of the fundamental thing. It's empowering the people that are working with you to bring their best selves to the project, because that's when they're going to be the most excited to be there and going to give you the best work, So really, it's a bit Machiavellian. But that is actually like how I look at it. Some of the things I wish I had done differently in that process are also, it's reaching out to people earlier. When I started, I was just like, I have nothing. I have no work to use to get other work. So maybe I should, just kept applying to stuff online. The reality was, those people were looking for online applicants because they didn't have a network of people to reach out to ask for recommendations. They didn't know anyone. I don't think that means you can't find good people on the internet. You absolutely can. But it does mean that if there are specific kinds of work that you want to make, find the people making that work. Invest in showing up. Okay, maybe you're not going to end up on set right away. Maybe that means you're reaching out to a cinematographer and you're saying, can I show up at your prep day? Can I show up if you're doing a test? Maybe I can be a set of hands there, and you can learn from those people. It's doing that kind of a thing. And I think I had to learn that it's okay to reach out to people. It's okay to put your work out there. I wish it took me 4 or 5 years before I started feeling comfortable to put my work out there. And even right now, I struggle with it. Perfectionist gets in my own way. I won't even share work from some of the biggest projects I've shot because I start to get self-conscious about that work. So it's learning to be confident about your work, be humble in the process, and also to share the work with people. And I genuinely think the point of sharing your work is actually so you can inspire other people. So you can inspire them to be able to learn something about the process. You don't know what it is that makes you unique until you start telling people about your process. And they're like, I never would have done it that way. I didn't even know that was a way of doing things. And then in that process, there's actually something really exciting about witnessing. I did a short film in Japan, and I had a crew of 4, and we made beautiful images together. We did incredible things. We shot the short in 9 days, and we would go to the location, and then we'd shot list on the day. They took notes of every single setup that we did.